Hey guys, welcome back to the United Star, and we have Rishabh again with us, high in demand. But Rishabh, since we last spoke, United are on top of the league. Bruno Fernandes's form has gone down, someone you highly rate. So before we get into players, how important is this upcoming fixture? I mean, Ole said that if we don't win the next one, then the draw against Liverpool was a bad result. So how important does the Fulham game become?
I think it's crucial because these are the kind of games that you have to get positive results in if you want to be in the running for a title. And if we don't win against Fulham, obviously what Ole said is absolutely right. Then our result against Liverpool becomes a negative result, whereas as of now we take it as a positive. So it's absolutely crucial that we pick up all 3 points against Fulham.
But you mentioned Fulham. There's also a certain team called Manchester City that is right under our noses, trying to get that first spot. Even though I think if they win their game in hand, they do get that number one spot. So, how important does it become from a mentality perspective? Do you think the side that we have has the mentality of being a number one side, or do you think we're still away from reaching that thought process?
I think our team is predominantly a confidence team. When we are in a good moment and when we are playing good football, that our team's confidence is automatically reaching new levels, and they perform better when we are in a good we are on a good run. So I think that right now the Liverpool result, the players will be very content with it, because I think our first half performance definitely was disappointing. But in the second half, we were no doubt the better team. Yeah, we didn't keep possession, but keeping possession and trying to break down isn't our strength. We played to our strengths. We created two very good chances. We had a few other half chances as well, but we couldn't capitalize on that. And but it wasn't exactly the game that we needed to win among the two teams. It was Liverpool who needed to win, but they did not show enough ambition, in my opinion. They wanted to also not lose the game. So the players would be happy, and we didn't look levels of Liverpool. We looked like a team that could go toe to toe with them. We could get a result. We were very much in the game, and in the second half we were the better team. So the players are obviously, now I think they are starting to realize how much better they are than was previously thought. So I think they will go into the Fulham game with confidence. But obviously, when you make silly mistakes in games, that time your confidence goes down. We've done it plenty of times, usually in the smaller games. But I hope that Fulham are a very expansive team. They like to attack because they don't have the defense to sit back and defend. So they will come on to us, and I hope that we can counter or we can break them down and we can score a few goals.
I agree with you, and I've always said that United is a side of confidence. If we lose maybe two games, that full confidence could break down, and the league table could shift completely in a different manner for Manchester United. But Rishabh, you spoke about Fulham, so before we get into the predicted 11s, how important it is to win this game has already been discussed. But Fulham's form is something that we need to take into account. I mean, they lost to Chelsea, even though they went one man down. They only lost 1-0. Otherwise, they've drawn consecutive games to, Spurs, Southampton, even Liverpool, teams that are in the top six at the moment. So, do you see any player that stands out? Like, if I have to pick out a player, I would probably talk about their keeper in Ariola, who's been outstanding between the posts. Is there any player that you see as a danger from their side, and how could we tackle it?
I think a danger possibly could be Ademola Lookman, because he will definitely start with now with De Cordova Reed being suspended now. So and when he gets into a one-on-one situation among against our centre backs, when Wan Bissaka is up the pitch, that is the time where we have to make sure we don't let him create anything, or we don't let him do much. So we obviously have to handle that. And talking about Fulham's performance against Chelsea, I thought in the first half they played really well, and it was just a silly challenge by Robinson which got him sent off. And basically spoiled the entire game plan for Fulham. They missed a sitter way before Chelsea created any good chance. And talking about Areola, he's been very good at shot stopping, but against Chelsea, he had two or three brain fade moments where he just punted the ball into danger areas, and he was responsible for the goal at the end of the day. So we need to make sure we create a substantial amount of chances to, because we are going to miss some, and we need to, at least I think this game will need us to score more than 2 goals to be in a good spot, and not be pressurized in the last minutes. So if we can do that, if we can get a bright start, if we can pressurize them, pin them down, get play football, defend solidly, and exactly what is being expected. If the players do that, I think it should be a very very easy win for us.
I think Rishabh, you said it well. So let's straight jump into it. What's your 11 going to be? Do you see the likes of Eric Bailly playing? Like, personally, I believe it's time to rest Bruno. I know you're a big fan, but you also must have seen that recently he's been pretty tired. So has the likes of Rashford. So do you think this is the game to rest them, or maybe wait until the FA Cup or Europa League and then start resting such players?
I think Bruno needs to play for him, because not because we need him necessarily to break them down, but because Bruno has the standards that he set when he goes just 3 games with mere performances, and not even something, those weren't disaster classes, because against City and Liverpool in particular, Bruno is a player who you have to give the ball to get the ball down, and then he will play, he will pass, he will give long balls that will go wayward, he'll give passes that will go wayward, but he will keep trying, and he'll produce the final ball at the end of the day. But against City and Liverpool, we can't do that, because we don't. If we don't press and we don't get the ball back, so we can't keep giving him the ball. He was pretty wasteful against Liverpool. He missed a big chance and all that. But Bruno's never been the most clinical player. There are some times when he's very good with his finishing, and there's some times where he's very average. So we need to cut him some slack, because he's been doing a lot. There's a lot of pressure. So I think against Fulham, if we I think we'll have a lot of the ball. So he will get the ball, he'll play, and if he gets his confidence up, it helps us in this period. Now we have a set of rather simpler games on the horizon, which we need to maximize, because that's what City and Liverpool have done all these years. They when they've been dominating, they've tried and got the expected result against the smaller teams. That is what we have to do now. I think talking about the team selection as well. When Eric Bailly was benched, a lot of the people were panicking, and you were obviously one of the people who was not panicking, because we know what Lindelof brings. But I think Ole now, what he's done, he's earned the right to choose his own team. He's earned the right to play his starting 11, especially with that little of performance against Liverpool. So I think we just need to trust him to pick the lineup. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. We can't help it. We can't jump on the Ole out wagon after one bad result. We need to support him. We need to, he has improved the team, no doubt. And then in the beginning of the season, when we were going through the slump, and everybody was saying, "Oh my God, Manchester United, all the progress has been, thrown down the drain. They're back to square one." And I was like, it's clearly visible that our players weren't fit at the time. There was no energy. The players were toiling to get through 90 minutes. It was just not possible for them, which happened to City as well. City got overrun. City were not able to play the football, and now look at them. They are playing their best football in the last 1.5 year. So because of which, Ole kept saying, the players are not fit, the players are not fit, it's just a one-off, but nobody was listening. And now we're seeing that that was the case. We have a good squad now. We need to utilize it. I think with when something doesn't work out, say Bruno is not having the best of games, I think you can always bring a Donny van de Beek off the bench, or Juan Mata off the bench to create. or you can bring, say, Edinson Cavani to go and get his goal. So we have to give Ole the right to choose his own team.
I think Rishabh, you've hit the nail on the head. We both have been talking about how people are behind him with one loss, and it's a fabulous performance that our team has put through since game week 7. Right, we've just been improving every day, and going to Anfield and getting that point when we could have possibly won that game is a big statement to how things have changed. So I haven't asked you a specific question, which I will save for the end. But what are your predictions, and who do you think will be the main man for this game?
My prediction is I think it'll be a 3-1 win for us. And I think the key man will be Marcus Rashford, because with Fulham playing with wing backs, I think he can get in behind the wing backs and he can, create something. And he's been having a bit of a slow run in terms of goal scoring now. It's been quite a few games that he hasn't scored. I think he hasn't scored since the Leicester game. So I think he needs a goal right now. So I hope that he makes the difference
I
against Fulham.
I actually think it's the opposite way around. I don't think Rashford will play. I think Bruno has had too many silent game weeks, and fantasy Premier players will be irritated with that as well. So he's going to put in a shift, according to me. But I think it'll be like a 2-0. I think we our defense has really solidified, and hopefully we don't make silly mistakes. But before I wrap this up, Rishabh, I've asked this to everyone, and I started this bandwagon in India at least. Is 21 coming for you, or are we talking too early?
I think we are talking too early. I would love to dream, and I'm really enjoying our run at the moment. But I think Ole is handling it very well. He's been saying from day one, next game, focus on the next game, then move on to the next game. That's what, as fans, I think we should do. Stop pulling out the fixtures. Stop looking at what's the game, what games are coming up. When are we playing Liverpool? When are we playing City? Forget about that. Fulham in the Prem, focus on Fulham. Then Liverpool in the Cup, focus on Liverpool. Sheffield United in the league, focus on that. So just prepare yourself for the next game. And I think as long as we keep doing that and don't look too far, we'd be in a pretty good spot.
I think that's spot on. I think we have another Ole with us today. He's talking like the manager itself. But guys, that's about it. That's what we think about the Fulham game. I think it should be a comfortable victory for us. But let's hope that the boys play well, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.